Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel and today I'm going to be doing my first book haul of 2022. So over the last month or so, I have accumulated books through the holidays, holiday sales, and just having a general book buying obsession. So I'm really excited to talk about all these books, so let's just get right into it. Okay, so the first book on my list is the iconic Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. Now I have already read this. I listened to the audiobook last year and I loved it. I think this is my favorite thriller of all time. It is so good. I actually think this book is like a literary masterpiece. I think people should be studying this in like future English literature programs. I just think this book is so good. I think Gillian Flynn is amazing. I think the movie is amazing. So I just wanted to own a physical copy because I do plan to reread this one day and I just wanted to see it on my shelf. Okay, the next book in this book haul is Circe by Madeline Miller. This is another book that I have already read. I had the US paperback edition, I think, when I read this book. I love this book so much. I love Madeline Miller so much, and I just couldn't resist. I love special, beautiful editions of my favorite books. This is no exception. I believe this is the UK hardcover. It is so gorgeous. Like, I could only hope to be as beautiful as this book one day. And even the naked hardcover is stunning. So I really wanted to add this to my collection because it is just that stunning. All right, the next book in this haul is Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. This is another Greek mythology retelling. I don't know too much about Ariadne. I know that she is the princess of Crete, but I'm really excited to get into this one. I think the cover is beautiful. I love Greek mythology retellings like Circe and the Song of Achilles, so I'm excited to have this one added to my collection. Okay, so the next book in my haul is Yolk by Mary H.K. Choi. This book has been all over BookTube for the last year, and for very good reason. I'm so excited to get into this one. Every description and review of this book that I have seen has been very positive. This is a YA contemporary about two sisters, and they live very different lifestyles. One of them has a very high-paying job in the big city, and the other sister, I think, is more down on her luck, trying to make it by. Unfortunately, one of the sisters does get cancer, and the sisters have to come together and help take care of each other. And I think this is going to be a very emotional read, very impactful read, but I'm really looking forward to it. I also just think this book is so, so beautiful. I love the yellow. I love the sisters holding hands on the pages there, and I'm really looking forward to getting to this one. Okay, the next book on my list is The Hunting Wives by May Cobb. This is a thriller set in Texas, I believe. It basically follows the story of a woman who was living in Chicago with her husband and her son. She had a very high-powered job, very elite life, but then her and her family decide to move to a small town in Texas. She becomes a stay-at-home mom. She gets kind of bored with her life and ends up falling in with this social crew, and I believe obsession happens, murder happens, craziness. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I think this cover is stunning, and I've only heard really positive things about this book, so I can't wait to try it out. Okay, the next book on my list I'm really excited for. That is Finlay, Donovan is Killing It by Elle, Cosimano. First of all, I think this cover is so cute. I love it. It's going to look so good on my shelves, but I'm sure you guys have heard of this book. If you have not, this is a thriller, comedy, adult contemporary story about Finlay Donovan. She is an author and she is meeting with her literary agent in a Panera Bread discussing the plot of her next book. Someone overhears her, thinks that she is actually a criminal, and Finlay Donovan ends up somehow getting hired as a hitwoman. This book sounds so funny, so lighthearted, but also there's murder involved. I think this is going to be such a good one. Okay, the next book on my list is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I have never read this book. I'm really excited to get into it. I got this beautiful edition during the Barnes & Noble 50% off hardcover sale. This book is also an illustrated version, so it does have some really beautiful artwork in here. I'm very excited to get into this one. Okay, the next book is Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. This is a friends to lovers second chance romance. Friends to lovers is my favorite romance trope, as I have mentioned before, so I'm really looking forward to getting into this one. I don't know too much about it other than those things, but it is also dual POV, which I like, that we get to see the relationship build from when they were kids to now when they are adults. Okay, so the next book I have is The Bloody Chamber by Angela Carter. Now, this is a collection of short stories, and they are dark, erotic, feminist retellings of popular fairy tales like Little Red Riding Hood, Puss in Boots, Beauty and the Beast. I think this is going to be like nothing I have ever read. It's pretty short, and I think this cover is really beautiful. So the next book on my list is Black Swans by Babitz. Now, I saw this book on the Gossip Girl reboot. One of the characters was reading it, and I thought, that looks intriguing. I thought that the cover was really beautiful. Low-key, also. This was like the only intriguing thing about the Gossip Girl reboot. I can't even speak about that. But anyway, different topic for a different day. This is a short story collection about Babitz and her time growing up and into adulthood living in LA in the 70s and 80s. She had a very interesting life as an author, an artist, and a socialite. She also dated a lot of very famous men. Jim Morrison and Steve Martin were two that really stood out to me that I'm very curious to see what they were like in a relationship, so I'm really looking forward to this one. The next book on my list is A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. This book is so popular on BookTube and has been for the last year. I have seen Katie Colson, Gabby Reed's, Books with Chloe. They've all raved about this book, so I've been very curious. This is a horror romance retelling of Dracula's Brides. It is told in letter format. That's all I really know, but I have incredibly high expectations for this. The writing is supposed to be very lyrical and beautiful, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. Okay, so the next book that I picked up is From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata, the slow burn queen. The only other book I've read by Mariana Zapata is The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. I did not love that one as much as I was hoping to. I think I gave it 3.5 stars, but I hope I will have better luck with this one. I just know this is an enemies to lovers ice skating slow burn story. That all sounds fantastic. So yeah, very much looking forward to getting into this one. Okay, the next book that I picked up is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I am so excited to start this trilogy. Oh my god, this is such a well-loved book on BookTube as well. From what I've heard, it is fantastic. This is a fantasy book, but it does have some historical elements. I believe the first book has some history from the Chinese Civil War. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I believe there's a lot of morally gray characters in here, which is my favorite. And yeah, I'm definitely prioritizing this book for the first half of the year because I really want to binge the trilogy. Okay, so the next book, or books, I should say, a part of this haul are The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So I have never read these books, which I feel like is sacrilege. I feel like if you are a fantasy reader, you definitely should have read these books by now, but I just haven't. So I'm committed to reading these books in the year of 2022. Please hold me to that. I think I've been intimidated to read these though, just because I have heard that Tolkien is quite long-winded, some might say, but I still know these are essentially classics in the fantasy genre, and fantasy is my favorite genre, so I need to give them a shot. I think what I'm gonna do is watch the movies first, and then I will read the books right after. I think that will help me to visualize a lot better. But yeah, regardless, I'm still really excited to read these. Okay, and the final books, a part of this haul, are Jane Austen's complete works. Now I have all of them here. I'll just show you a few at a time, but they are beautiful cloth-bound editions. I have Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, Emma. I have Northanger Abbey, Mansfield Park, and Love and Friendship, and finally Persuasion. Now, I have never read Jane Austen, and I specifically have never read Pride and Prejudice, which is just so crazy because the 2005 movie is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love it so much. It's disgusting that I haven't gotten into Jane Austen yet, but just like Lord of the Rings, I'm committed. I have kind of a crazy goal. I want to read all of these books this year, along with literally everything else on my physical TBR, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm really excited to pick these up. These are beautiful, beautiful books, and I cannot wait to get into Austen's works. Okay, so that is going to complete my first book haul of 2022. Let me know, what books should I prioritize from this list? I have a lot of them, but let me know which ones have you read, which ones did you like, which ones did you not like, and what books do you think that I should read first? Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one.